Hey there, it's Robin. So I'm not going to pay attention to the little numbers up there because this is more of the information. This information is more for viewers, so you can help reinforce it to my family. Or family, you can say, we knew that the whole time. We had to do this. We are so, so sorry. Because the torture you all have put me through only makes sense to me in my mind if you were being told, because I don't remember you being abusive, really. Mom, yes. Gaslighting and all that bullshit, yes. Dad was never abusive. And when he spanked me, that like I remember he lost his temper, beat the shit out of me, and it scarred all of us for life. And he never touched any of us. Like, by the way, he never touched any of us inappropriately anyway. But he never was abusive growing up. Why he has become abusive now has been not only perplexing, and like I'm like, he doesn't have Alzheimer's. He keeps trying to get me to check myself into a hospital. Here's the problem. He is not a doctor. I don't know that he's aware that I have a brain tumor. And he keeps telling me to kill myself, and I tried to kill myself, and then he rolled his eyes and said I was being dramatic. My friend just arrived. I'm recording right now, but I want to keep recording, but it's on a channel. It's just, I'm talking about a brain tumor that I have that you need to know about too, so come on in.
Who's in the back?
Nobody.
So who called back there?
Brian had to hide his card. I will explain that, not on camera. Yeah. Thank you for coming. Okay, so this is actually a good thing. This gentleman right here, who I won't say his name or anything else about him because he looks like he doesn't want to be anywhere about this, but you can sit there and listen to me for a second if you want. So I keep forgetting that I have a brain tumor because that's one of the side effects is my memory loss. And I will write notes and everything. And my parents keep telling me that I'm being dramatic, so I keep ignoring it. But you, sir, you can tell I'm in danger. You have been getting paranoid at night. You've been coming over here and checking on me almost every fucking night because you're listening to your intuition and you're like, something is not right with Robin. So even though I had my boyfriend here, you still show up in the middle of the night coming in and checking on me. So thank you for listening to your intuition. So I'm coming back to my audience now. This man and I don't know each other super well. We met back when I was normal before I overdosed. So he's known me in every different mental state. And he don't judge me for anything. And he's so hyper aware that something is really, really wrong that he shows up every night to check on me, and now in the middle of the day. And I asked somebody to drive me to the hospital this evening. And I said, you're the only person who will actually sit here and listen to me say all this stuff and know that I'm not being dramatic. I'm a fucking clinician. But this motherfucker right here might drive me to the hospital. I need to go get an MRI done. I'm showing all the signs and symptoms of a brain tumor. When I mentioned them all to my doctor and said, I did an experimental trial of Lupron, and they said to me, the number one in your specific age range, your skin color, and something about my my heritage. I remember something about my lineage, which is why I've been obsessed with talking about racial issues lately. Because it's like my brain's sitting there trying to say, like, oh, God, remember this one thing. And it's trying to pull forward. Isn't that incredible? And I keep, by the way, I like every time I remember it and get to that point, it's like I start back over from square one if I fall asleep. So I cannot fall asleep before I go to the hospital. But I sleep every day. I just so happen to be up for a few days, not on a bender, on stress. And then I used drugs last night. Actually, and the night before that. So I did kind of do a little mini bender. And for some reason, every time I get to this point, I realize, because I don't get high normally, and I accidentally got high and used too much last night. And it's every time I get high, I remember, I'm like, oh, yeah, this is what being high is like. You hear what I'm saying? Okay, so viewers, please reiterate to my mother and father that drug use, drug abuse, and using drugs as prescribed are all very different. And I'm a prescriber. So in my secret little codex website that I have access to and no one else on earth does unless you say doctor or doctor, unless you say doctor. Because I have a prescription pad with a prescription number that I have to enter so that when they take it to the pharmacy, somebody gets their drugs. Are you all hearing me? Because my family hears stupid, obnoxious little 8-year-old Robin, shut the fuck up, you're possessed by a demon. So yes, I guess my parents were abusive. I keep forgetting that. And my friend Camille keeps telling me that. Yes, my family's very abusive to me. They didn't abuse anybody else. My brother made it very clear, and he said he wishes I did kill myself. I don't know why they all did the hate Robin train, but they did. And my oldest brother who was not abusive, used abuse to toughen me up, and he would make me physically tougher so that the physical pain that my mother was causing me wouldn't be as bad. I'm not even I'm getting apologetic, and I need to stop being apologetic for this. This is my truth, and when I have a brain surgery in the next week or two, which right now I'm having cerebral spinal fluid leaking out of my nose, that was what caused me to remember it again today. It's because I was talking to somebody who had a traumatic brain injury, just talking about all of the treatments that they had to do, and he even said something about, like, he didn't say cochlear implants, but he said, like, your things. and I started thinking about the fact that I even sent myself to the ENT, and then now I'm getting an audiology and a balance test and all that. That clinician, something in me is still clicking and trying to get there. But most days, I write love letters to my ex-boyfriend about why we're not together. I stress the fuck out. And I was diagnosed with PTSD, but now I'm wondering what I'm going to be like when I wake up. It's incredible. Hopefully all of that will be gone. But my original PTSD was from a traumatic childbirth. That's the other thing. And that wasn't even, like, when I've experienced PTSD, and I don't understand mental health disorders as well as everything else. Because the brain is so complicated, guys. So if your family is telling you that you're possessed by a demon all the time and you feel like you want to go blow your brains out, don't. Call me. I'll go blow their brains out. And then you can't charge me with it because I'm not going to remember saying this after I have my brain surgery this week. So that's another thing. For some reason, I feel like there's an experimental treatment where they precondition your brain so that when you come out, you can, even if you are, like, impaired, you can actually restructure your brain. And so I'm basically think that that's what they're doing, but I can't remember ever having that meeting. Now, I don't know what all the structure is for that clinical trial that they did, but I know that it got approved. So that's the other thing, is I'm like, Robin, don't worry, everything's fine, except I need some kind of reassurance. And my father just told me he's taking me to the YWCA, and he tried to hurt me physically. The other day, he came at me. And the only reason he stopped is that there was a girlfriend in the room sitting next to me, and he hadn't noticed her because she's a teeny tiny little thing anyway. He stopped, but he was coming at me like this. Guys, if I'm a woman that needs brain surgery and one of my family members is becoming abusive, stop them. If not, if you guys aren't doing this whole thing, then I guess today I'll find out if I'm going to have brain surgery. But, like, I don't know, I guess they need to tell the person, they need to come up with something better for that, because this has driven me insane, and I literally don't have any feelings for my family anymore. And I keep saying hurtful things to them, and they keep snapping back at me. That doesn't help my mental status, and it's been keeping me from getting to the point where I will go to the hospital, which is what they seem to be trying to encouraging me to do. But they keep talking about having me committed and stuff, and that sends me into a frenzy. I don't know. I guess like I'm just really hoping that this is what I'm going through, because otherwise I have been kept in a house and tortured literally for 4 months. Yeah. Did you hear what I said just now? Were you listening to anything I said? Because that's another thing, is if you know, we need to come up with a better solution for this. Is that what's happening? Okay. So today I went through a treat. We had a heart to heart. He doesn't know anything about me having a brain tumor or having surgery or anything. And he's the only one that keeps coming and checking on me regularly. So, first of all, he's very intuitive. So, first of all, absolutely something is wrong. Second of all, if my family knows about it and they haven't been telling me and they've been treating me the way that they have, that's not acceptable. I don't care if I am undergoing any fucking thing. Being raped, that was not acceptable. It's caused me to literally lose like emotional, like, so that's the other thing. I might forgive I might be able to forgive them after all this, because I might find out that this surgery, this is what happens, and we hate this fucking surgery. That might happen. So I am giving the benefit of the doubt. That's the thing. I'm not like freaking the fuck out. So when my family starts their abusive pattern of behavior that they did as I was growing up, that's not acceptable. But thank God they did, because now I'm sitting here saying it. And no matter what happens tomorrow, the next day, or the next day, I want everyone to know that this chick, Robin Oyster, was abused as a child. I don't even think that my brother told his wife because of how bad it was. But everybody fucking knows that Robin did not go home during summer breaks. She went and lived with Ryan, and he had adopted me basically as a daughter. I know that Dr. Bell and Thelma, who was his primary nurse, like his like little yep, I'm Dr. Bell's nurse. So I'm saying like she wasn't just like, she was his primary office nurse. That's what I'm trying to say. I've been forgetting words and stuff. Oh my God, this is so frustrating. Anyway, I know that they'll tell you, because I am sure Thelma remembers, and I remember her name, Thelma. Thelma. I fucking loved her. I wrote a short story about her in my creative writing, and I've been doing creative writing. So it's funny, like my brain's been trying to bring all these memories forward, which is what worries me, that like actually I haven't had any preconditioning on my brain. But then that brings up another clinical interesting thing, is we'll see how I do after surgery. Because this brain surgery is not that big a deal, because the pain I was going through, Dr. Bell said, I believe the benefits outweigh the risk because of the severity of your endometriosis, the amount of pain you've been in, and the fact that your mom is still sewing. I remember he kept talking about fucking sewing. And he was like, she doesn't even care that you have a severe case. He's like, I've been kind of downplaying it. Like, I mean, you're a teeny tiny little thing. And I had to use scissors to cut some of that shit out. I remember when he said shit, I was like, and she looked up. He goes, oh, now you're going to pay attention? He sat there and antagonized the fuck out of her. And she's always talking to me about some grudge that I hold, and I don't even remember it. That's actually very ironic and funny. I think she does have Munchausen's by proxy. Or whatever. She's got something that, like, it's like I can tell that it's she ain't right in the head. She used to torture me. So I'm not going to get into all those details because if I don't remember that you want to forget all those things. But you can remember this because you've written it in front of a lot of pieces of poetry. The screams of my childhood still haunt me. And I am specifically speaking of the screams as I was taken every fucking time someone messed up to be spanked, even if it was not my fault. I was literally the redheaded stepchild that got beaten to shit by my own mother for no reason other than she didn't want to spank her precious children. So she spanked the ugly one. I did not remember that until I said it. No, I've already forgotten it again. What did I say? That started to send me into spiral. Yeah. Anyway. I know I just said ugly one. Oh, so here's actually what I like. So it's getting bloodier. I was talking to a guy with a brain injury, and then I said like something, I keep getting boogers right there. Cerebral spinal fluid at this point. I was hypovolemic. I was going into hypovolemic shock the other night, and I was trying to get my boyfriend to come and take me to the hospital, and he didn't. Because I didn't impress upon him how serious it was, but I said, I think I need to go to the hospital. Will you please come quickly? And he's 20 and he doesn't get it. And so, Trevor, I'm sorry, but we have to break up. Because until you can read between those kind of lines, for somebody who's got a brain tumor and has to have brain surgery, you can't date me. Sorry. I'm actually really sad about it because I liked having fun with you. And you're way cooler than most of the dudes my age. At 99.9% of the dudes my age. I'm going to go hang out with a dude my age for a minute because I just realized I left him alone in there. And I got to go tell the poor dude that I've got a brain tumor and that he has really great intuition. And apparently is the only person who gets a flying fuck. Unless, my parents are telling everybody. That's the other thing. I keep coming back like, what if they're telling everybody? And somebody has been hacking into my Facebook Messenger and like filtering messages, and I don't know how to fix it. So maybe they're like sitting there explaining to everybody. Except, here's the other thing that my mom would be like, so-and-so called, worried about you. And I know you're doing drugs. She always comes out, I know you're doing drugs. So if she knows I'm doing drugs when I'm not, she's wrong. And that's what's been frustrating me. She knows I'm doing drugs, and sometimes I am, which yes, sometimes I am, but I don't need to tell her every time. But if I need to stop for fucking surgery, let me know. But so far, all they've done is actually help me every time. Every time I've relapsed, I've gotten back to the brain tumor. So thank God for meth, you stupid cunt. Because I still remember the tickle fights where your fingernails would break off into my fucking arm. Because that's where all the non-track marks come from that I have like proof of and stuff. And I hate you. And that like is inherent in like my whole soul and being and stuff. All right, I'm sorry. I'm coming. So I just remembered about my brain tumor again. And every time